Hey, morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vase. Glanced at the price, saw that it was popping to the upside, and let's have a quick look. Before I do, though, as people log on, I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep the beard. I do like the shaved head, really convenient. And but we'll see how long I keep the beard. Usually just gets really, really annoying, and I end up shaving it. I got a really awesome package I want to show you guys. I'm sure a lot of you here are watching are friends of Tyler Jenks, fans of Tyler Jenks. And his family sent me a couple of things. So you might have seen this back when he was doing his YouTube videos. This was his like old stock market ticker tape. This is from 1909. Really, really cool stuff. And like a lot of this stuff was really sentimental. This was the Bitcoin Cryptomatic watch. I actually bought this for him as a present last year for Christmas. As a Christmas present, his favorite number was apparently 99. So we got this watch with 99 out of 100 imprinted on the back. So that's some really cool stuff. Like a lot of it was really sentimental. This was the chess set that Tyler and I played on when I went to visit him in Chattanooga. It's a really cool old school chess set. So really good. Like I didn't even know like his family was going to send this over to me. So thank you very much for that. But this is the prize. This is really gonna cherish this. So these are the two original sequential documents from Larry Williams. Look at the date. This is the original one. This predates the TD sequential. This predates Tom DeMark. Look, copyright 1980 right there. Copyright 1980 by Larry Williams. I'm going to go through these. Tyler had showed them to me briefly when I was at his house. I didn't read them in full. So this was the original from 1980, and this is the updated version from 1981. And this is the original blueprint for what Tom DeMark calls the TD sequential. So this is really good stuff. I also got some many other of his folders and on some of the notes. I don't have his hand notes. It's hard, you know, like, hey, I was very happy with what they sent. I wish I could, you know, go there and like really go through his stuff if that's possible. Even I don't know. I'm gonna have a chat with his family. I'm gonna thank them, call them and thank them for sending this over to me. So that's really, really cool stuff. I really do miss him, and it just left so suddenly. Was gonna be spending this winter over there. Actually, that was the plan. To go over there and like share ideas and put some notes together. Also planned on doing that in Bali. He was supposed to be there, of course, and that didn't happen, unfortunately. Okay, guys, let's go on with the charts. On that sad note. So, real quick, Unconfiscatable is on sale. Please check that out. I do need to fully restart my computer to get the latest numbers on how many seats we have left at current prices. So yeah, check that out. Early Bird Carnivory. And this is the dinner with all the speakers. Hopefully all the speakers will be in town by then. The pinball tournament, the poker tournament, everything, VIP tickets. I'm going to start messaging other people to see if I can get really cool speakers. For $250, this conference is definitely not going to break the bank. Okay, so go for it, guys. ToneVase.com. The options webinar is on sale. That's going to take place exactly 2 weeks from now. It'll be 2 full days. People are asking for the description of it. You go to products and you go to workshops. The options webinar should be there. There it is, equity options. Here's the description. I will go through this description. And equity optional. I'm going to go through this description. I'm going to edit it. This will probably take place today. because now that I've taught this before, I know exactly how it's going to go. So there will definitely be more details. If you click on details, oh, it just takes you to the general workshop. It doesn't necessarily, it takes you to all of the workshops by all of these people. So it doesn't take you to the actual description of the options webinar specifically. I will go ahead and put that in. This is the Giacomo Zucco workshop at Unconfiscatable. This is Socrates workshop at Unconfiscatable. Okay. All right, now let's go to the charts. That's the daily chart. Let's go to the weekly chart. Let's see how our week is looking. So the week started off by giving you a short trade on sequential. I made it very clear that shorting at this point in time is very, very dangerous because of how much you have moved on the red one candle, not to mention it was the fourth drop in a row. It was the fourth week of drops in a row. Bitcoin doesn't normally fall for 4 weeks in a row. You see that it happened earlier this year, and then we rebounded pretty heavily, but then still went ahead and made new lows. Right here, during this big catastrophic fall from 6,000 all the way down to 3,000, we did not even fall for 4 week red candles in a row. So it's not common that Bitcoin has 4 red candles in a row. Again, right here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles down drop, but right in between them, here is a bullish candle that rallied back to the moving average, but could not break above it. Actually, guys, let me double check my audio and make sure right. So that doesn't normally happen. Again, you have to go. I'm not even sure. Like this is the weekly candles. I still haven't seen 4 red weeks in a row. Here it is, found one. I have to go all the way back to, what is this? July 2016. So we're talking, what, 3.5 years ago in order to find 4 consecutive down weeks. I mean, that doesn't normally happen. And that was the final pullback that took us down to 550 before the big rally set in. So you really do not want to be shorting Bitcoin after it had fallen that many consecutive weeks in a row. I thought I made this pretty clear. Maybe not the 4 weeks in a row part. I think it's the first time I'm ever mentioning that. But I did mention that, hey, after a big red one, it's very, very, it's very difficult to jump in right after that onto a trade. Let this pull back. If the market is going to go lower, a better trade opportunity will present itself, okay? Even if sequential by textbook is telling you to do that. And this is why I don't like to code strategies. They always have to be, there has to be some discretion involved. So for me, if I was coding, shorting a red 2 or below a red 1, I would have to think about some restrictions. And one of them being, okay, how many prior candles in a row have we fallen? What percentage of the price have we fallen? Because I don't like to short over leveraged moves. Sorry, over extended moves, not over leveraged moves. I wouldn't do this on the way up either, right? Like this is why I wasn't jumping in on a long here, even though this is back at 4,200. I was already long actually in the market at the time, but I wasn't jumping in on this long because it took place on a weekly 9, and that really bothered me. Now, if you go back to all those videos, I say that, hey, once we break 41, 42, we're going to move very quickly to 5,000. And if this move had happened on a green 1 or a green 2 or a green 3, I would have been all over it, but not on a 9 because then it was consolidation. The better time to enter would have been here, and you can go back to my videos. I probably should have been way more bullish at that level, but if you remember, this is when the whole Bitfinex versus the New York Attorney General disaster was taking place, so that made me a little bit more hesitant. I should have just stuck with TA because TA is usually right, and I trust TA. Okay, so that's the weekly candle. The weekly candle looks good, but TA is saying, hey, don't, on a weekly scale, this is still in a downtrend, and we have to wait a little bit to see if it's actually going to prove itself. I don't like the CMF. I don't like the MACD. Oh, I just took out the MACD. Didn't mean to do that. Control Z brought it back. Okay. If I zoom in on the MACD, there's nothing about this MACD that is bullish. Okay. It's not crossing over. We did have this giant MACD crossover to the downside, and I pointed to this as being a potential major danger zone. The MACD is also about to break the zero line, which is also not good. So the MACD is generally late to the party, but when there, of course, I think it was August 19th. So right there. So this is where the MACD crossed over in late August, and the MACD is saying, hey, don't buy into it yet. The RSI is still trending down. No indication yet. The RSI gave you a nice buying opportunity in December on a weekly scale, and that's it. And the RSI then went overbought. Gave you a couple of sell signals back on June 3rd, and then again on July 8th. And the RSI still waiting for the weekly RSI to go back to oversold. Looks like the oversold RSI has led to some really nice moves in the market. So the RSI is not telling you to buy. The MACD is not telling you to buy. The CMF is not telling you to buy. So on a weekly scale, there isn't much to really cling to in order to assume that the low is in and we're ready for all-time highs. Can it happen? Of course it can. But nothing in the charts is telling me that this move is here to stay or that we're back in a bullish uptrend. Now, we could be in a bullish uptrend compared to the lows of 3,000, but not compared to what happened this summer. Daily chart. So daily chart, yesterday I pointed out that, hey, the green 2 did not go above a green 1. It pulled back a little bit. But this green 3 has just gone above this green 2. Now, once again, because the 1 candle was so, I don't know why it's doing that. Now, because the 1 candle was so overextended to the upside, this makes it a bit of a tricky trade from a risk-reward perspective. But I don't know what the reward is. People keep, somebody commented on my yesterday's video saying, how come you don't talk about risk-reward? Well, because I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what my reward is. I only know what my risk is. And the risk on this long is a little bit big, probably down to 7,000. Getting in at 77, it's still okay. Now, where do I think the target is going to be? I think Bitcoin is really going to struggle breaking this moving average. And if it does break this moving average, it's got a whole slew of resistance. There's a massive amount of resistance between 8,300 and 9,300. Now, yes, $1,000 is a big range, but there is so much resistance here. Not to mention, if we do continue to rise from here, hopefully there'll be a 9 and a reversal candle at one of these places, setting up for a nice selling opportunity. Right now, I am still assuming this is just a dead cat bounce. In order for me to remove the idea of a dead cat bounce, I need the price to close above 9,500. I really don't believe that we're going to get above 9,400 without having another significant pullback. If this next pullback does not go below 6,500, then we're probably ready for the bull market. But if this next pullback does go below 6,500, then we need to reevaluate everything. Why do I think the next pullback will take us down below 6,500? Well, I don't like this depth cross between the 128 and 200. I don't like the fact that the 200-day moving average is now flattening out and about to start trending down. We have just spent a large amount of time below the 200-day moving average. How much did we spend here? Let's do, so, okay, why is this not? What's going on? There we go. So this is 30 bars 30 bars we spent below the 200-day moving average in September, October. And I believe we have just spent a longer period of time. All right, why is this not coming back? There we go. And we have now spent, oh, we haven't spent 30 bars yet. We only spent 21 bars. Okay, so we haven't spent as long as we did before, but unless you think that we're going to be above 9,500 in the next 7 days, we will spend a longer amount of time below the 200-day moving average, and that bothers me. We don't normally spend this much time below the 200-day moving average without then going significantly lower. So once Bitcoin does break that 200-day moving average and spends any significant amount of time there, it creates a problem. The current environment somewhat reminds me of this area here, where, you know, this was early 2018, where we fell hard from 20,000 down to 6,000. We rebounded 100%, made a double top, which I wasn't very fond of at the time, but the sequential did a good job on that second one in order to time the top. You had a nice reversal candle and moving average resistance right at setup trend the first time. I really thought this pullback on a 9 was only going to be a 1 to 4 candle correction. I really felt that this reversal candle on the 4, followed by this 5, was going to lead us, was going to set off and take us to potentially new all-time highs. I was bullish off the $6,000 low. I was bullish off of this monster reversal candle at the 200-day moving average. I was bullish on this 9 right here. I was bullish all through this area. I really felt that the bear market could potentially end here, and then we go higher. But when we didn't, when we broke down and then back tested the 200-day moving average, it was over. This is when I became an even bigger bear, and we did go a little bit higher here, got rejected by the 200-day moving average again. The 200-day moving average didn't even start trending down till all the way in June. And that's when trouble really set in, and we stayed under it forever. This is a concern. I know people really want to be bullish in this market, but the TA picture right now is certainly concerning. We can go all the way up to 92, 9,300, and it does not mean all that much. It really, really doesn't. With the, the moving averages trending down and flipping over, Roger Ver is still on TV talking about Bcash. You have a bunch of people believing in Richard Hart and that he's going to create a better Bitcoin. A lot of other shitcoins are coming out. All these articles about how someone created a better mining thing, which is ridiculous. The fundamental picture of Bitcoin is very, very ugly. The only good thing to rely on is the code, the progress of Lightning, the progress of Liquid, and no one is incentivized to promote them because you don't get paid for it. All right, shorter term time frames. I drew these a while back. I took a look at my 12-hour chart earlier this morning, and I'm like, hey, I still stand by these arrows. I mean, there's nothing changes there. In fact, I can add one more. I can take this line, I can bring it down. I can bring it down to here. That is another critical level. I'm going to leave it purposely above 9,500. 9,650 sounds reasonable. I'm going to move that over here. So still stand by all of these. If we can break these lines, we go higher. Now, obviously, I drew this after this top because otherwise the arrows would have been earlier, right? Look how far the arrows were. So I'm going to take another one of these arrows. I'm going to stick it right here. Okay. You get above that line, we're going higher. Okay. We get above that line. I mean, it depends on how we get above that line, but we get above that line and there's a high probability I will finally become a bull. So the thing is, if you ask me for my opinion, when is this line going to break? I'm probably going to say after the halving. I'm just not very bullish at the moment because of the bearish picture in Bitcoin. Will we eventually break that line? Yeah, Absolutely, we will. Okay, but for now, what am I thinking? Well, I'm just going to redraw these. I'll do it on this 12-hour chart. I mean, how high can we go up? We can go up as high as, I don't know, 9,000 maybe. I have no idea. But I'm not expecting us to break that green line. And I do think that, you know, sub $6,000 prices are coming. My good friend Willie Wu probably disagrees with me based on on-chain volume, but this is what I'm looking at. We can go up, we can get rejected by this moving average, the 200 on the 12-hour, just like we got rejected right here. The 200 on the 12-hour got rejected at 9,600 on the close and 10,400 on the high. The intra-day swing doesn't really matter for longer-term trades. It matters in your short-term trades. But that's what I'm looking at. What's the sequential here? Sequential here is a 7. I don't know how much you trust the 12-hour sequential. It's worked well in the past. So maybe, you know, tomorrow there could be a top. But I'm giving it, you know, some leeway to go as high as 88. But I don't think it changes the fact that I'm still anticipating lower lows. Here's the 4-hour chart. This was the big breakout. I did mention yesterday, hey, here is your bullish entry on a green 2 above a green 1 on a 4-hour. Of course, the price immediately pulls back hard. It never really pulled back even to the level of the prior breakout. So yeah, you're in a losing position for a little bit. And then within 24 hours, you are in a very nice winning position. On a 4-hour chart, there is critical resistance at 8,000, 7,900 to be exact. And I think Bitcoin will struggle breaking that level. If it does break that level, this is where, you know, that $8,500 area comes in. And this is probably in the vicinity of where I drew this arrow on the 12-hour. I drew it up to 88. Maybe I should draw it a little bit, you know, shorter. Let's put it at 86, something like that. Okay, or maybe it'll take longer. Let me not assume that it's going to happen that quickly. Okay, so something like that. So that's what I'm looking at. GBTC is trading today. Looks like the premium came down a little bit, down to 31. Still a little pricey. Bitcoin dominance, not very interesting. Mining hash rate still looks okay. This is miner profitability. I do think miner profitability will hit this line. That means that it would have to fall to $6,000 a Bitcoin after the halving. I don't think we're going to go sub 3,000 before the halving. That's the only other way to hit this line. Bitcoin has gone up. I do want to see how all of the top 10 shitcoins are doing. Binance is still up 30% over Bitcoin for the year. I would love to see the sub-zero because it's a scam coin, but probably not. Ethereum doesn't really matter. Gold, still keeping an eye on gold. Gold's hanging in there a little bit. I'm curious on the S&P 500. A bit of a down day, but it's a holiday. You know, it's a half-day trading session today after Thanksgiving. No one is trading today. There's not going to be any volume. I don't like the MACD. I don't like the RSI on a daily scale. On a weekly scale, I think we're still okay. We're still on a 6. So maybe a few more weeks of upside and then probably a nice correction, you know, back down to the $3,000 area. Still overall bullish though. All right. Hey guys, don't forget Unconfiscatable. Tickets are on sale along with workshops, carnivory dinner. All the dates are on here. Check that out. Also, the options webinar will take place 2 days, 7 hours each day. I will update this description a little bit to make it clear because now that I've done one of these before, I know exactly what's going to be taught. And check that out. Probably as of tomorrow, it should be posted nicely. Check out the other workshops that will take place in Las Vegas. Myself, Giacomo Zucco, Socrates, Jimmy Song, and we'll try to bring you a few more. All right, guys. On this note, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. Once again, thank you all for watching. I don't know if there's any questions in the chat, but I do need to get some work done. People ask you the price at which you would sell your Bitcoin. Do you have a time frame as well? I don't really have a time frame there. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit, just glance at some live chat, maybe something interesting. All right, guys, I don't really see anything interesting in the live chat. All right, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.